are really, really small. So in order to map, to know how things are connected, is extremely difficult because of the size of it. I mean, there's so many, 100 trillion connections and synapses that we need to map. It's like the wires on microchips, right? And we have to map them out. And it's super tiny. So we have electronic electronic microscopes that are able to take pictures in 3D. That's great. But then we have we have to analyze the pictures and actually physically map it. And there's 100 trillion connections of these tiny things. So there's big problem to really be able to map it out. And once we have it mapped, or we have a technique to map it, then we can really probably look at how it all fires, how it's all interconnected, and then we can figure out, well, how this machine actually works. It's a little bit like trying to figure out how a computer works without the ability to retracing, the different connections inside the transistors and how they're connected to each other. It's a big problem. It's like magic. If she can't do that, well, the brain it works. We know it works because we are here and we do things, but we can't really map it properly. Now, the time it would take using current methods and the most advanced microscope, it would take us about 50,000 years to map the human brain using current methods and the most advanced technology. Now,
AI one day succeeds at its original goal, which has been all along, as I said, to replicate human intelligence in all domains. Then really what we have is the last invention that humans will ever need to make. If you think about what it means to mechanize intelligence to full human level performance, and then shortly after, presumably superhuman levels of intelligence, you soon realize that that's not just a technological advance like any other. If you have machines that can do research, that can do science better than we humans can do, then from there on, really further progress is driven by the machines. And so this transition to the machine superintelligence era will be, I think, the most important thing that has ever happened in human history. And it will unlock an enormous potential for wonderful things to occur. I think a whole post-human condition becomes possible. Space colonization, cures for aging, all these things that we tend to think of as just science fiction. I think that actually becomes a real possibility once you have super intelligent scientists and technologists. But along with this enormous potential for good, I think there is also going to be very significant risks, including existential risks, threats to the very survival of our species.